In today's video, we will be talking about a lifetime enemy of mine. Something that I've struggled with my entire life. Has always been a hassle for me to use, and that would be the Humble gas can. Back in the day, they were just had a spout and a little vent on the end of them. They still kind of stunk because you always kind of made a mess with them. Reason being is because the things were so heavy. I mean, this is just a gallon one, but you get like a 2-gallon one, it's 15 pounds. 5-gallon, I mean, 30 pounds if that math is correct. And they're just hard to use. You got a big heavy thing and you got a spout. Like again, back in the day, you're trying to get it into the can and line everything up while you're holding it. Again, this is just a 1-gallon one for a reason. This is the one I used to fill up my lawnmower with. But yeah, and then the feds came along and they said, hey, that thing's unsafe, you know, that thing you've been using for all these years. We need to make it safer, so we're going to regulate everything about them. And then they came out with these stupid things right here with these spouts that aren't vented out the back. There's actually a couple of companies out there that make conversion kits for gas cans to make them better than these new ones. But yeah, these ones are if the old ones suck, these are more suckier, mostly because this here spout right here, as you can see, it's got a little bitty hook, and the intention was that you take this little hook, you stick it on the can, and then you push it down, and then the gas comes out. Problem is that if you're filling something that is kind of lightweight, like a string trimmer, for instance, this spring is awfully tight, so you can't push on it because it'll flip your string trimmer over, or your chainsaw, or whatever you have in that situation. The other problem is that not all fuel tanks have a lip that you could grab onto this little hook with. So then what you end up doing is you hold it upside down, and then you peel back the foreskin of the old fuel can and start pulling it out that way, and guess at what point in time this thing needs to stop filling. You can't throttle these like the old ones with the spouts, because you'd stick them in there, and you get close to the end, you start tilting it back and slowing down the flow, whereas these things is just full on. You get close there, you pull it out, and more often than not, you just spill gasoline all over the place. Now all that leads me to the SureCan gas can. This particular one, I follow a couple people on the old interwebs there that do those trade shows for tools and whatnot, and yeah, this one was kind of popped up in my feed, caught my attention. Seems like it, at least on paper, is going to solve a lot of those problems. This particular one is built in the USA, so made in the USA, I guess we'd call that. 5 gallons. Me personally, if I was using this just for lawn and garden and, household duties and filling up dirt bikes and other recreational type vehicles, I would have gotten the 2.5 gallon one, but I use this to fill up my welder in the back of my truck, and I need 5 gallons to fill that up. I mean, 2.5 or 1 gallon into that welder isn't anything. So yeah, so this particular one meets OSHA and MSHA guidelines, so whatever those regulations are, they figured out a way of doing it without having all that stupid crap that was on those other ones. And yeah, I mean, just out of the package, it's got a thick wall on the thing, which I actually kind of like, and the actual fill spout, which I'll show right here, has a lever action, which is a pretty strong spring, and inside there's actually a little boot. I don't know if you can actually see that, but it's got a little bit of a boot, so when you're filling up at the old gas pump there, it doesn't splash. Again, kind of cool. And it has this here control spout up here. Actually, let me get something to cut that off with. There you go. Yeah, so that guy pops up right there, and little safety catch. So you do that, and you pop it open. And I'm kind of hoping this little valve, we'll test this a little bit later on my lawnmower, but I'm kind of hoping this little valve is actually throttleable, so I don't know if that's a word or not, but yeah, so you can kind of adjust the flow, so when you see that the thing's starting to fill up, you can kind of just let off it a little bit and slow it down to a trickle. And yeah, last but not least, you got the actual fill spouts. So you're holding the guy like this, the way it should be held, instead of, you know, with a standard 5-gallon container where you're humping it up like this, and you got the spout here, and you're holding it like that. Yeah, this guy you actually hold vertically from the handle where you're actually strongest, and then you just take the cap off here. Yep, and just stick that into the thing you're trying to fill, and then hit the valve, open it up, and let the thing fill. So yeah, I mean, it's just a gas can. I was gonna do a look down camera on the thing, but one, I mean, it's pretty big and it'd be hard to fit in the frame, and two, yeah, like I said, it's just a gas can. So I mean, what more could we show with this thing? So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the 5-gallon container out of the back of my work truck, transfer the fuel into this guy, give my lawnmower a top off with this guy. We'll test it out on that, and we'll throw it on top of the old welder in the back of the work truck and see how it works for that. So yeah, let's get to it. So I'd attempt to just drive home the point that I'm trying to make here. This is my 5-gallon can I got from Harbor Freight that sits in the back of my work truck. And this particular one, just to fill it, you have to take this, press it, pull it down, and then grab this handle and fill it as you're doing that. So in practice, what that ends up looking like, we'll just put this in here. I'm not going to fill it with this, but yeah, so you end up with a situation like this. You stick your spout in, holding it, and then you're doing some action like this, and it leaks all over your hands because they all stink. And just a safety note, you should always fill things, gas cans, on the ground to avoid sparks. So I'm actually going to use this thing, which is the only way I take fuel out of this can. Alright, got my old Toro lawnmower here. It doesn't say, but I think it'd probably be a good idea before using this just to pop this here lid open so any pressure is released from the tank. Take this guy off here, and then you take your spout, stick it in the old thing here, and then release the shmoo. I think it's about a half a tank I got in this thing already. Look at that. Damn near a perfect pour. I like that. All right, let's go out to my truck, see how it fills up my welder. All right, just for clarity, the way I used to have to do this before I got this can, obviously the fuel tank filler is all the way in the back here underneath this shelf, so I'd have to take this thing off. I mean, technically I could get this old style in there, but I'm standing underneath of all this crap, and it just doesn't work good for me. And that's why I always use a transfer pump. Now with this guy, and it does seem to fit under here just fine, I believe we should be able to just kind of stick that in there like that, and then hit the lever, and we got fuel flowing. That is so much easier than what I used to have to do. It's hot as balls in the back of this truck, just for clarity. Alright, that tank's mostly full anyway, so let's go back inside in the air conditioning. So here we are, back in the air conditioning where it's nice and cool. Got a bit of a heat wave going on right now, and that was the SureCan 5-gallon gas can which is a lot heavier now that I put 5 gallons of gasoline in it, oddly enough. But yeah, I mean, what can you say? It's a gas can. It fixes the problem with the old style ones that sucked a little less than the new style ones that suck a whole lot more. If I had one critique on it, this here guy right here, I gotta get my face out of the way so it'll focus on it. This guy right here, the spout cap, I'd like to have some place to put this while I'm filling it. I don't know, up here or maybe something on here. I noticed when I was filling the lawnmower, I took the cap off and I had no place to put it. I didn't want to put it in my pocket and make my pocket smell like gasoline, and I put it on top of the lawnmower. I'll forget about it. But yeah, I mean, that's just a small critique. Like I said, it seems to work pretty good, barring whether or not it stops working in the next couple of months or starts leaking or something like that. I mean, I can't see how you'd go wrong with this. It does have a 3-year warranty. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's what I remember the guy saying in the video. But yeah, it's got a 3-year warranty, and apparently you just give them a call. Actually, it says right there, 3-year warranty. Yeah, apparently the guy, you just give them a call. They probably want pictures, and then they send you out a new one. It's usually how those things work. But yeah, I can't see how you go wrong with this. If it were me and I wasn't filling up that gigantic welder all the time, I would have gotten the 2.5 gallon one, just for the reasons of not having to slug that big can around. I think your average homeowner doing lawn and garden stuff, lawnmowers and string trimmers and whatnot, again, you'd probably be all right with the 2.5 gallon one. My personal opinion. They do make these in diesel and kerosene, from what I saw on their Amazon page when I bought this particular one. Yellow and blue, obviously. And yeah, I mean, that's about all I can say about it. It's a gas can. It's better than the old ones. What more can we do? I will link this one and the 2.5 gallon one in the description down below. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, you can feel free to leave them down there in the old comments section. I'll do my best to get back to you. Yeah, I'd like to thank you for watching. There you go.